Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Picnic Table Chat Show. This is episode 17 of season 4, I believe. Please do correct me if I'm wrong, and please do let me know if the microphone starts cutting out at all. We're still working on getting the signal in our new location. So, how is everyone? Thank you for joining me. Welcome everyone for joining. Thank you for joining on all the different platforms, Facebook, YouTube and Twitch, and listening in the future on Spotify or any of the other podcast platforms. Tonight we have had a little, good evening all out UK. Tonight we've had a little bit of a feeding in the bullet ant tank, and now I'm showing you the crabs basically. We've got a couple of crabs on screen at the moment from what I can see. We have Mr. Krabs there at the front of the screen. He is the dominant alpha male. And we have one of his children, which is growing up quite well, and I don't know where it's gone. It was towards the back, eating back there, but seems to have disappeared now. They move quite fast when they want to. So it's another short one again tonight, I'm afraid. I'm still super busy with moving and all of that. I just haven't had time to really sit down and do much. It's the most hectic thing anyone can ever do, ever. I swear to God, it's horrible. If you have to move at any time, you'll understand. Moving's horrible. Well, I've got 3 beds. I had to move, it's a lot of work. But we're getting there. We are nearly there. I've still got a few more ant colonies to move into the ant corner. I'm having to move them one at a time so I can hold them gently the whole for the journey. It's a bit of a lengthy process, but we're getting there. Talking of which, we have, we've moved into the new ant corner now. I've said multiple times, and I've done videos and stuff like that. We've actually had our first set of visitors to the new ant corner, which is super cool. Lots of kids running about and look around and talking about what's what and asking questions. Yeah, super fun and super excited. And the parents were pretty into it as well, which was pretty cool. And the fact they're on about coming back again at some point because they're not too far away. So that's nice, being able to welcome in visitors to our new location. Just dropped my pen away. Sorry about that. What was I going to say? We are now, there's a little bit of a late one. We've done over 300 videos on the channel now. That's insane, isn't it? It's something like 60 or so, maybe 70 or more of them streams like this. But yeah, over 300 videos on the channel now for your viewing pleasure, we could say, if you want to put it like that. Look, we haven't really done like a celebration for it or anything. I might do a little giveaway. I need to speak to the wife and see what she thinks. Basically, she comes up with a lot of these sorts of ideas, or she helps me come up with ideas. And don't forget, now there is a banner running across. I'm going to read it out now. Don't forget to grab a raffle ticket. Over £300 of prizes. Thanks you, Ants England, and welcome. Over £300 of prizes to be won. Multiple winners. Prizes will be drawn at the Great Ant exhibition on the main stage at 3:30. It will also be live streamed via these streams. So if you want to grab a raffle ticket or even a few raffle tickets, you've got a chance of winning some amazing prizes donated by some amazing ant shops and amazing people. What else has been going on? I say it's not going to be a massively long stream tonight. I haven't had time to sit down and plan much because I've been moving locations and it's just been absolutely hectic. As anyone knows who's moved house, it's a horrible experience. One nice thing, I woke up this morning. So Manny the mantis, in fact, we could probably go over to him. No, we won't bother him. Manny and Mantis hasn't eaten since moving into. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. We fed him like the day before. Since moving into the new location, Manny the Mantis hasn't eaten. And I was sort of wondering why, whether he got a bit stressed out or what. No, he just molted. That was a nice thing to wake up to. It's quite often, like he does it at night. I don't know if they always do it at night. I had to move 2 floors down. Yeah, that's it. I had to move the entire 3-bedroom house, like I'm still on the island, but like we were at the bottom of the island before, and now we're at the top of the island, and like multiple van trips, and then I've had to stop so that we can get everything into the new location, sort out everything that's left there, and then we're going to do some more van trips. Then I got to go back and do like painting and things like that. It's a long old process. You know what it's like. Whoa. But yeah, so Manny has molted. He is like I keep saying he, it might be a she, we don't know. But Manny's molted and he's a little bit bigger and cool. You're not supposed to feed mantis for like a day or so after they molt because they are a bit fragile. So I'll be giving him like an extra day or so, and then I'll give him another wax run. Yeah, all the ants moved absolutely fine. Not a single escapee or any deaths or nothing, right? But I've left the hardest colonies till last. I've got the latest Niger in the T-shaped formicarium. They're digging their own tunnels, things like that. I've left them till last because I'm going to have to hold them so carefully, like the whole way, and it's going to be a nightmare. The dive tank wasn't too bad, although the size of it kind of made it a little bit difficult. The moving guys were amazing with it, and in actual fact, it wasn't too bad because where they weaved their nest and they haven't dug underground at all, like we had that sort of not freedom because the pond, and we drained the pond obviously. It was fine. It was heavy, but believe it or not, the trapjaw tank was actually heavier, and the trapjaw tank's probably about half the size of the multi-species tank, but it still took 2 people to carry it because it is just so full of rocks. Like I made big rock caverns within the drainage layer, and there's loads of rocks in the background sort of thing of the trapjaw tank. So that one was actually the heaviest, and it was just difficult because of the shape and the size of it. It was slightly annoying. Good evening, creepy critters. How are you? We've managed to gain an extra tank since the last live stream, actually. Quite a large tank again. What is it? Probably about 2 foot. Yeah, it's probably about a 2 foot tank, maybe slightly larger than 2 foot. A nice bit of height to it as well. So I don't know what's going to go in there yet, but we'll put something fun and interesting in there. We've got a couple of other things coming to the ant corner as well. I'm not gonna what's the word? I'm not gonna let the secret out on that one. But we have got some super cool, interesting things coming to the ant corner. And then once I've done that and I've got everything from the other place, we are fully into this location until we get the new location. But we're not going to talk about the new location either, because that's a secret as well. Yeah, honestly, I was dreading moving for the whole time I knew I was going to be moving. It's not something I wanted to do. We had the landlord wanted to sell our house, which was slightly annoying. So we didn't really have a choice. I had to find somewhere else to move to. Otherwise, I would be putting it off until I have the perfect location. I dreaded it for ages, but it wasn't necessarily, I wasn't dreading moving most of them. Like with anything that's in the bioactive setup where they dig their own tunnels or anything like that, I drenched it with water, to be honest. I watered it 2 or 3 times a day, every day leading up to the move. And that just kind of made everything a little bit muddy and really held it together. You know what I mean? There was no extra movement, and it all kind of a bit sticky. Perfect. So I don't think the tunnels collapsed because of that. Obviously other reasons, but we were very careful. But I think that really helped, and I would recommend doing that if you're going to move the colonies. It's not something I was told to do. It's just something I thought, actually, that might well help, you know what I mean? But yeah, I was kind of dreading it, kind of not too worried. The only one I was actually worried about was the trapdoor tank, because it was up on an 8 foot high shelf where it was in the old ant corner, which is one of the reasons that it's never really featured on the channel, because it's so high up. It's really hard to, like, I have to stand up on something to film, and my tripods aren't that high either, so I can't even get like a still shot of it. My hands shake like heck these days. But that's another story as well. Oh, speaking of which, hang on. Let's get this glass off and let's have a look. There's one of my trapdoors just there. But yeah, that's the enclosure. There's a lot of rock. Very heavy. Oh dear. So that's definitely one of the best things about the new ant corner. It's got much better viewing for me, but that is awful for reflections. I'll probably move the camera in a minute. You very rarely see a trapdoors. Now, I am much the same. I only really see them when I'm feeding them, like now. That's one of the reasons I stuck a worm in, just to see if they would come out during the live stream, which they have. I could very well put it back on, because there's one or two out now. The colony is probably about 50 or so strong still, not massively grown since I put them in, about 15 to 20 workers. And yes, I very rarely see them. Again, they were up on an 8 foot high shelf, so I very rarely saw them for that reason, but they are quite quiet and they spend a lot of time underground in their bioactive setup. I keep trying to say settlement, but I don't know why. They spend a lot of time in there. I'm just watching it right now. That's pretty cool. I like the trapdoors. They are one of my favourites to watch when they're out and about. But like you say, so rare to actually see them. I saw them come out in a group of about 5 to take on a worm once. That was probably the most I've ever seen attacking a worm. Like, they come out, they have a look, and they go back. Feeding them sugars can be a little bit difficult. They don't work with towers very well, do they? So I always just kind of give them it on a cotton ball and hope that they're. Like, for ages I wasn't sure that they were actually able to drink it from the cotton, but they clearly are because they're alive. But yeah, for quite a while I wasn't sure. There's 2 trapdoors out now, so it should. Who wants me to put the camera over to the trapdoor tank? They won't be about for long, and at the minute we're looking at a reflection of a pond. So let's do that. Let's do the trapdoors. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Trying. Just trying to sort the tripod out. Dun, dun, dun. Where's the trapdoors? There they are. It's gonna be really hard to see. It's almost like they're like in the distance, but they're there. They are there. Would love trapdoors. Yeah, trapdoors are super cool. They are they are very expensive for what they are, but they are awesome ants, but they are quite expensive at the same time. And like you say, you don't actually get much viewing pleasure out of them, not as much as you'd think. But when they do come out and start snapping their jaws, they're pretty awesome. Now, one thing I have come across since living up here. I thought this was super cool. Someone locally to me keeps newts, and like I mean they've got quite a few newts. I went round the other night and had a look in a big bioactive setup, and it was like, oh wow, that's so cool. I like newts. There you go. There's 3 ants. Is that 3 ants? We'll put another worm in a minute and see if we can get a few more coming out. So yeah, he keeps loads of newts in a bioactive setup and snails as well. I'm going to put another worm in whilst I'm chatting. And yeah, I thought it was super cool. I got to hold a newt. That's a fairly new experience for me again. But yeah, I thought that was super cool. And it's nice to have someone locally to me like into the same sort of stuff. He was really interested by the ants. And in fact, the interesting thing is, since moving up here, I've been recognised by quite a few people. Like, I haven't told them who I am, but we've got like, when we moved in, someone was like, "Oh, it's the Ant-Man." Like, what? How do you know? And yeah, I am the Ant-Man of Portland, and the word's getting about apparently. It's not a bad thing, I suppose. I mean, we are doing another workshop on Portland. If anyone is local to Weymouth, Portland, or just the Dorset area, South Dorset, pop on down. We're going to be at the bottom of Portland at the Victoria Park on the 14th of August, doing a little workshop, showing off what we've got, and giving out a little bit of knowledge as well. It's going to be good fun. You'll probably come along, get some freebies, and chat to us about whatever. The top of the yeah, I was like, when I was looking at all the different places we could live, there was one that's actually not even in Weymouth, it's in Dorchester, which is like about 10-15 miles away, right? And my wife was like, "Oh, this one's really nice, like it's big garage, I just looked at it, I was like, "Yeah, but it's not on the rock. How can we be ants on the rock if we're not on the rock?" And we had this little discussion, we'll put it that way. But yeah, ants on the rock, we're still on the rock. But I mean, we could do like Ants Canada. He's not even in Canada anymore, but you know, we'll see. I think it was a bit late to change the name now. I've got the t-shirt made. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And the cups, and just about every other piece of merch that I've got. Yeah, it's too late. It's too late to change my name. There was like when we were coming up with a name. I say we, I mean I and kind of my wife that I'm running things past, but it was mainly me. So when I was coming up with a name, it was between a few different things. The Ant Athlete came up. I thought that was kind of good because obviously I like ants and I'm an athlete. I can't remember what other ones there was, but I always liked that one, and that's kind of got a ring to it. But we went with Ants on the Rock strictly because we have ants and we're on a massive rock. And it's quite good because like I say, when I was wearing my shirt the other day and I just stopped in Tesco's to grab some milk and sugar, you know. And the lady at the tills was like, "So what's Ants on the Rock then?" I was like, "Well, you know, Portland's a big rock. Well, I sell ants." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Ants on the rock. Now we get it." But yeah, that's it. Bless them. No, it's good. I'm enjoying the area around here. It's different to where we were. You liked Ants Canada, so just went with Ants England. Yeah, fair. That makes sense. It kind of, what's the word? I don't want to say simple because it's more than, you know what I mean. It's just easy to remember, isn't it? Memorable. Ants England, boom. You got Ants Canada, Ants Netherlands, and all of those ones. That's how you get it in your head. Excuse me, my cough is doing me in at the moment. Just going through my list of things to talk about. I haven't actually got a massive list of things to talk. Unoriginal. I wouldn't say unoriginal. You're the original Ants England, definitely. But no, that it's like a string of events, if you know what I mean. Like it doesn't need to be original because it kind of falls in line. I like Ants UK, but there are about 5 people with that name, so I won't go with all Ants UK. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Um, it gets very confusing if I'm completely honest between the Ants UKs because, like you say, there's like 5 of you with the same name. I'm sort of glad that I'm the only Ants on the Rock. I'm sure you could think of other things dancing. It's like when I used to be in a band, right? I've been in many bands in my day, and coming up with a name was like one of the hardest parts. Like you don't want to rip off any other name. There's Ants UK. Hey Ants UK. Thanks for joining. That's funny. What was I saying? Yeah, and like you don't want to rip off anyone else's name, but then you usually make a name and you're like, actually, that sounds just like this. And that's another thing about songs. Like, you don't want to rip off anyone else's songs, but then you listen back to, or someone else will come in and listen to your song and be like, actually, that sounds just like Led Zeppelin. It's like, damn, I was listening to Zeppelin this morning when I come up with it. No wonder. There are a few new. Is there new Ants England? I didn't know that. That's what's the word? That's offensive. No, not offensive, but that's kind of. I don't think anyone else is going to be Ants on a Rock. If they are, they're going to have some explaining because it's like, but where's your rock? I'm actually on a rock, and Portland is known as the Rock, right? It's not just a rock like a rock. Like there's quarries. There's about 7 quarries on an 8-mile square island. The more the merrier. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Now the trapdoors have sort of disappeared, so we'll see how long they are gone. If they don't come back, we'll go to a different enclosure. We've got the world of enclosures. Well, we've got loads of enclosures, not quite the world, but we got loads of enclosures behind me that we can pick and choose from over the next however long. Oh wow, I just noticed I've got a load of new growth in one of my enclosures. That's super cool. Oh well, that's literally come up in like the last maybe day or so. I trapped a load of seeds in there just to see if they would, but I wasn't sure if they would or wouldn't. Um, I was given them by someone a long time ago in a little envelope, and they've been in the back of the shelving unit thing. So I chucked them in, and yeah, they've all sprouted up, and they look quite good actually. That's really cool. How are my Formica doing? Yeah, Formica are actually doing really well still. Like some people struggle with Formica, say that they themselves and so on, issues like that. But I do open it regularly. I'm feeding them like either sugars or protein every day. So I am opening it regularly, letting it air out, I suppose. But yeah, they seem to be doing all right. They're really active, really, for like a small colony. They're really, really active and inquisitive, really aggressive. The minute I take that lid off to put any kind of food in, they are on it. They are trying to get out, get me, running up the tweezers. They are on it. In fact, you might hear my daughter at the moment. In fact, I can see quite a few, or I can see one of them out at the moment. But they're quite difficult, because they want to get out so fast. It's a matter of, do I put the food in or am I taking the old food out? So sometimes there's like a little pile of a day or two's worth of food building up before I've been able to get it out because they just are so fast and so good at getting out. Minute I take that top off, they're on it. I really need to sort out the last 2 lights on the shelves, but that's just me not getting to the. Every time I go to the shop, I forget to get the sticky pad things. The ones, the double back sticky pad thing. I'm sure I've got them somewhere, but when you pack, you just kind of like you chuck everything in with everything. I have no idea where half of my stuff is. In fact, I lost some things and I've gone back to the old house, looked through there a million times, come back here and found it pretty much under the bed. Well, I say under the bed, it was like hanging out of the edge of the bed, where we had literally laid the bed on top of it. So well done. But like I said, it was it's been a very hectic move. We do have 3 children, bear in mind, and it's summer holidays. So we're trying to keep them occupied and happy whilst moving. And oh, what a nightmare! I wouldn't recommend doing like a massive event and then moving and everything all at the same time, because it's a bit of a pain in the back, we could say. We're supposed to be going on holiday next week as well. Workshops, then holiday, more workshops, then the event. All in the space of a few weeks, and we're in the process of moving still. Great timing, but that's the way of the world. Nothing ever comes easy if you want it. Is that the right term to use? No, that's probably not the right one, but that's the one that came to mind. No, it's true though. Nothing ever worth doing is easy, and it's definitely worth doing. I'm just looking around at the other enclosures to see if anything is interesting and happening today. Not by the looks of it. I'm probably going to feed the Tetramorium and the Formica. I might stick a waxworm in for the tarantula. Oh, hello, Sarah, you alright? Yeah, I might stick a waxworm in for the tarantula. I'm not quite sure. Just want to, like, again, he hasn't fed since being at the new place. He didn't look stressed or bothered at all by the move, but yeah, he hasn't fed properly. So it was just nice to actually see him feed. I'm probably going to do the cocktail stick tactic again. Now, the thing about using worms or anything like that, they don't really, well, the wax worms I use do not climb at all. They just fall off. So I'm putting them on the branches. About 10 minutes later or whatever, they're falling off, which is pretty rubbish. So I'm probably going to stick a wax worm through a cocktail stick. Do it whilst it's still alive and wiggling. I'll stick that cocktail stick straight into the substrate. And that way, it keeps the place high up where the arboreal tarantula will come down to feed on it, rather than it being on the ground and it's not going to come down to the ground to eat. So that's going to be my tactic. I'll probably do that tonight. I might film it, and if it goes well, in fact, we'll do it tonight, and I won't film it. And if it works, we'll wait a week because they don't need feeding very often, especially tarantulas, you know. We'll wait a week and we'll do it, or I might feed them in between. We'll do the same on next Sunday live stream, not Wednesday, next Sunday's live stream. And we'll have a little bit of a spider feeding as well as an ant feeding. Now, this tank in front of us is doing absolutely nothing. I think we're going to have a little vote. I'm voting with all 5 of my hands, so that's 5 votes. Yeah, we're going to move the tank. Should we do bullet ants or crabs? Polydives aren't doing a lot at the moment. I suppose we could come and see the polydives. Or I don't know. Let's have a little look. What we'll do, let's go back to the bullet ants. Right, there we go. There's the bullet ant enclosure. Now, I have just fed them 4 waxworms already, so we might not even see them come out, but they are pretty aggressive and pretty hungry. So they probably will. When they start sensing those vibrations and smelling the waxworms, I expect they will start coming out to get them. So we'll just give it a minute. already one has come out of the hole that they've dug to the side that you can just about see on the side of the screen. It's on the left side of my screen, but I'm not sure if it's like mirror image for me or you or whatever. There you go. It's already just sensed it, and now they're starting to come out in a few more numbers. It won't take long. Like I say, when they start getting that sense of food, it doesn't take them long at all. Here we go. And then as they start to wrestle and cause more vibrations and a little bit more scent gets scattered about by splitting it open and so on, the numbers will improve and more ants will come out to help, almost in a frenzy sort of style. There you go. They'll just sort of appear out of everywhere in a minute. I'll just give that another minute before I start talking anymore. There we go. They're starting to come up. So I'm just going through my list whilst we're watching that. I need to move that camera down slightly. Just go down. Ooh, too far. There we go. A little bit wobbly. It's on like it's not on a tripod at the moment. It's on like a balancy arm thing, which just kind of wiggles, wiggle. Oh, that bloody duck song. It's got that duck song in my head again, the waddle waddle. Now, anyone that hasn't watched the duck song, I highly recommend it. And I think we're going to have a duck race. Who wants a duck race? We've got 8 people in the chat right now. There's not going to be a prize. It's just going to be for fun. So if you want to join in the duck race, all you've got to do is call out a number between 1 and 8. If the number has already been called, call another number. It's just for fun. Let's get some ducks on the screen. There we go. People are jumping in. That's what we like to see. Thank you very much for your participation. We're gonna get some awesome ducks. See them down the river. Let's have a little look-see look. If it will. Here we go. Make sure I bring up the right one. There we go. I've got about 1 million tabs open right now on my computer. So here we go, the ducks. Let's add in the ducks. Full screen the ducks. Here we go. So on our race tonight, we have Granny Duck. She might look old and slow, but she's got a rocket booster up her. She is a fast duck. We have Purple Spotty Duck. Purple Spotty Duck, we all know Purple Spotty Duck. He will team up with the pink stripy duck and the green stripy duck, and they will go havoc on everyone. Plain Duck is on his own tonight. Normally they come in a little gang. The Plain Ducks tend to gang up on everyone dastardly and Muttley style. We're not going to have any of those shenanigans tonight because we're being watched over by Bat Duck. Bat Duck's going to keep an eye on all of the racers, making sure everyone's playing by the rules. Red Heart Duck just loves to race. And then we got Pirate Duck. Pirate Duck, you don't want to get in the way when he's got his guns, but I think he hasn't got his 6 shooters at the minute. We'll be all right. Right, let's get this race underway. Good luck, everyone. We're going to mute it as well, because otherwise, in fact, Do that. Is that the quacks? We want the quack. Yeah, we want the quacks, but we don't want the sound because the sound just goes on forever. I need to work on my sound. I did have like a sound effects thing programmed, but it just stopped working. I need to reprogram it. But like rolls and all sorts of fun things to add into it. It's all good. It's all good. Let's say, here we go. Coming down the track. Told you that granny duck, fast duck. Don't get in her way because straight through that. You know how they like, you know, when you're shopping and the old lady comes at you with a trolley? It's a bit like that, but duck style. We got plain duck out in front at the moment. Plain duck in number 6, closely followed by number 7. Oh, and pushing up between them is number 2. Number 2 out in front, but now fading back. He couldn't quite hold his stamina there. Number 6 taking the lead and holding again. Well done, number 6. That's good stamina. Good, cool, creepy critters for being number 6. Number 8 coming up on the outside. Sneaky little move that was. Can he hold it? That is the question. It's all good to sprint and use all your energy, but by the time you get to the front, if you haven't got the energy to keep going, someone else is going to take it straight off you. Number 7 coming up just between 6 and 8 now. Last 20 seconds, everyone's going to fall back. They're going to get their last bit of energy, really push towards the finish line, which is always something I recommend in races. Now, I do personal training, so it's something I recommend to all the people in training for races. And well done, number 6, Creepy Critters and Reptiles taking the win for tonight's duck race. Yeah, it's something I always recommend if you are planning a race or anything like that, is to save some energy for the last minute. I'm just going to plug in a different wire to the camera. Hold on. Because if we don't, it's all going to turn off. And then we'll be in a state of, you'll have to watch me on the other camera. There we go. I'm back. I apologise for that. I apologise. Creepy Critters. Right. Hopefully it will stay on. Right. Hopefully it will stay on. It might not. If it doesn't, we'll call it quits at that. But hopefully it will stay on now. We'll see. I expect the stream's really blurry and I'm probably fuzzy and all of that lot just because it's running off the other camera now. That's what we got to deal with, I'm afraid. That's why we're on that camera most of the time. But that's the way it is. That's the way it is. The ants didn't attack it. It's because I haven't got the internet set up in the new location yet. So we're running off like the internet of my phone basically, and it's just getting so overheated that it just turned off. And it was just like no. Yeah, so that's the situation. That is until we get the engineers round to sort it out. It's going to be like that, I'm afraid. And then we're probably going to do it and then be moving location again not long after. But we're not going to talk much about that right now because that's all secret and you're not supposed to know. Zip. I get in trouble with my moderators basically. I have my staff meetings and things like that, and they're just like, So all of these things that you weren't supposed to tell everyone, you've managed to, over the last few weeks, tell everyone everything. Like, yeah, I'm not very good at keeping secrets, especially when it's things that I get excited about, like the exhibition or the raffle and other things. I'm not, you nearly got me there. I'm not telling you nothing because nothing. You don't get no secrets out of me at the moment. Um, Oddly, Dean was back in the stream last time, wasn't he? Where is Dean tonight? Dean, like, I don't think he can quite hear me. He's like the other side of the country. I found out how far away Dean lives. Now, bear in mind, Dean's like my next one down. If you can't get hold of me, get hold of Dean, and he will get hold of me, basically. Yeah, he's the next one below, sort of thing. He lives like up near Scotland. He may as well live in Scotland. It's so far away. What? But he's traveling down for the exhibition, so well done to like fair play, like all day on the coach and stuff like that. We got a couple of people come from Scotland actually. It's quite pretty cool. Obviously people come from Ireland and a few other places. It's going to be a really great show. Over 100 tickets have gone out to the exhibition now. I'm not going to go on about a lot of things about the show because I've done it to death. Obviously, we've got the raffle. Don't miss out on the raffle. Some really great prizes. There's stuff from Best Ants UK. There's stuff from High Tech Ants. Bristol Bugs have donated stuff. Loads of different prizes donated for the raffle. And there will be multiple winners as well. So, yeah, get in on it. They're cheap raffle tickets. You know how raffles work. Simple. Yeah, what else is there to say about I'm not going to go massively into the exhibition. The next exhibitions are well under planning. We're not releasing the date until, so on this exhibition, the Great Ant exhibition, on the main stage, last thing of the day, we're going to be announcing the date and time and everything of the next one, which is already pre-planning, already got people booking in and so on and so forth. So yeah, don't miss out on the details of that. It will all be live streamed via my live stream accounts. You know how I do things on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch, all at the same time. So you'll be able to see it anywhere basically and keep up to date. But yeah, so that's the next show. I'm not going to tell you any more about the next show. But it's not just me involved in the next show either. I brought on a committee to help me plan it. I thought that would probably be the wisest thing to do because it is so much work just myself to do this show. The next show is already bigger than this one. So I've brought on a committee to help me. We're going to have a couple of separate things going on as well as the show. So it's going to be a really interesting event. And like I say, things are only going to get bigger and better from here. We've got some amazing supporters and really great sponsors as well. People keep wanting to get involved and showing their support towards the show. It's been really nice actually to have such great support from so many ant shops, so many people, so many other shops, just the community, just everyone into it and really up for it, which is super cool of everyone, you know how it is, because it is a lot of work. So it's nice to kind of get that feel that it's going to be enjoyed. I'm looking forward to it. I keep saying it. I'm going to get my face painted. I haven't had my face painted since I was like, no, I am sat down, bear in mind. So yay high is like small. I haven't had my face painted in a long time. I'm going to get my face painted, possibly like an ant. I don't know if they can do ant face paint. I'm sure they probably can because they're coming to an ant place. But I'm definitely going to get insect. I know they can do like different things. I'm messing with my light now. Can you tell? Trying to get it so it's not like shadowing me from the microphone. That's better. What was I even saying? Yeah, get my face painted. Now, everyone, Ants England, it's still been talked about months and months later about getting an ant suit for the exhibition. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me if you would remember painting my face, actually, Sarah. How old was I then? Probably 13, 12, I don't know, young. Um, what was I saying? I can't even remember what I was saying. Nope, it's gone. That's how good my brain is. Oh yeah, that's it, ant suit. So I might get the ant suit, I might not. It's going to be hot. I have a feeling it's going to be a hot day. And wearing like a full ant suit might be a bit warm. But if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to rule out ant suit. To be honest, I'm not sure. Like, yeah, 14, 15. Now, you've known me for so long, like you could probably tell, like just don't tell no one nothing about nothing. You knew me when I had my teeth. Now I've got not a single one. Like, yeah, not a single tooth in my head. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like, knowing someone for so long. Like, that's 31 this year. You've known me over half my life. That's crazy. Before the ants and everything. Before the ants, before the athletics, before, wow, scary stuff. So yeah, listen, I don't actually know what I'm going to wear on the day. You don't worry. You're not fat. I've seen you. You're not fat. Every woman says that. You never. I know that one, but you're not. What's happening to the teeth? Yeah, not from boxing, from my health conditions, because I've got such severe health conditions. I'm on quite a lot of medication. Because of the medication, my teeth are basically falling apart. So are my bones, actually. They're just disintegrating. So they got rid of all of my teeth. And they have given me false ones. We're so old, yeah, we are. They have given me false ones, but I very rarely use them, to be honest. In fact, boxing is one of the only times I wear my false teeth, because you have to legally have the gum shield in if you're going to box. So, like, I have to put in the false teeth to hold the gum shield. It's really annoying, because then I have to hold my mouth shut when I'm boxing, which is kind of hard to do. But it's one of these things. And to be honest, it's things that stopped me compete further in boxing. Otherwise, I would still probably be boxing more and more at the moment. Like I said, it's getting hard. Like, when you can't even like open your mouth to breathe and you're boxing, it's quite hard work. Eating, not an issue. I can pretty much eat everything. My gums are really hard. No, don't have to put teeth in. No one would know. You know what I mean? If I hadn't told you, you wouldn't know. I can eat a meal in front of you, you wouldn't know the difference. Hard enough. The only thing that's weird, the only thing that is weird is like, you can't close your gums together. You know how you can close your teeth, yeah? You can't put your gums together. Now, I assumed your jaws would kind of meet like that. But no, there's like a gap, and even when I'm shutting as far as I can shut, I can still poke my tongue through it. I think it's cool. And to be honest, I was so happy, because during the COVID times and everyone had lockdown, like, generally when you get to my age anyways, your teeth are starting to fall apart unless you looked after them really well. Generally, when you get to like 30, 40 years old, you start having a bit of pain with your teeth and needing a bit more work done. So I got it done nice and young, but during the COVID time, so many people I know were like, I've got toothache and I can't get seen and this and that and that and this. I'm like, yeah, I got not a single bit. Like, it is the best thing that's ever happened. No pain, no nothing. Yeah, it's brilliant. I wouldn't obviously recommend everyone taking their teeth out. No way. But it is what it is, and it's not a bad thing for me. I brush my tongue and my gums like occasionally, but I don't have to brush my teeth. I have to brush my false ones when I wear them, but yeah, no, I have to brush my tongue, because you still get bacteria like build up on your tongue and stuff like that. It is actually really interesting, isn't it? I'm always happy to talk about my health conditions. Actually, my health conditions are so interesting. Like this lung, it kept collapsing. So they sent me to hospital. They took the outside lining off my lung and stuck it to the rib cage. Now, I felt like I had been torn in half, because they like cut into me there and they cut into me there, and it felt like I was being pulled apart. And, and yeah, it was an experience, but yeah, my health conditions make things very interesting. Oh, it's the end of the day cycle, apparently. Now, if we lights will just keep going off around me. Now, those ones won't go off until 11 because they're not UV lights. They're just lighting for my viewing pleasure. These are all actually UV lights. And in a matter of a few minutes, the red lights will come on so that I can see at night time without disturbing the ants. Because most ants can't see red. Apart from, there we go. Apart from Mesobarbarus, which we know they can see red light, which is slightly annoying. Always good to have a laugh, right? That's it. You gotta laugh about it. Like I've always said, I when I was first diagnosed, I admit I did spend like a good year or so, kind of a little bit down from it. We could say not depressed. Don't get me wrong, but not in the best of spirits. But then I kind of thought, you know what? It is what it is. And I got into my athlete stuff. Now, my athlete stuff really helped me like get back on my feet mentally and physically. And it gave me that whole outlook on it is what it is. And the way I kind of see it now is like I'll do what I can as much as I can before I pass on. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And it drives me to work hard every day. And you know what I mean? I don't let barriers stop me. I just plow on at 100 miles an hour and do whatever the hell I want to do. Well, you know what I'm like. You've known me longer than anyone here. I pretty much always just do what I want to do, don't I? Doesn't matter what people say. But that's the fun of life. No, thank you for that. That's really kind of you, Sarah. Your name's really confused me, though. It probably shouldn't, but I can't work out the name. You'll have to explain that to me at some point. I don't know. I don't know. Right, what else is going on? There's not a lot going on. I'm glad the stream hasn't died off again. That's the technology has never been my friend. Let's be honest, right? On these streams, like over the past 4 seasons, what's it like? Nearly 80 so episodes. On the past 4 seasons, it's just been technology issue after technology issue. Get the call out guy out and engineers, and it's living on this island, right? If you live on an island, it just kind of falls apart. The signal's not great here. But then I hear it's like I'll go to a city like Southampton and people be like, there's no signal here. It's like, but you live in the middle of a city. Like, how is your infrastructure not great? Like, I live in this tiny little, we Google searched it, it's 8 miles square, right? That is the entire size of my island, 8 miles square. And it's like 2 miles away from the coast. So it's like, yeah. I don't know. It is what it is, isn't it? But right, I'm going to start winding down the stream now because I am running out of things to talk to you about. I don't want to sit here and bore you. I never do. You know how it works. And I am absolutely shattered. So I've been told it several times today that people are like, you look tired. It's like, thanks. I am. It's always nice to be told you look tired, isn't it? You know. Oh well, that's the way of the world. I'll get a good night's sleep and get back to it tomorrow. So a massive thank you to everyone for signing in and watching another episode of the Picnic Table Chat Show. You're all absolutely spectacular. Don't forget to join again on Wednesday and Sunday. We're here every week on those days at the same time of 8:30 p.m. GMT for the live feeding, and then 9 p.m. we start actually chatting. We have actually got some interviews lined up as well, especially for the next season, mostly in the next season. It's not far until the next season now. We think we've got like 3 weeks left of this season, a couple of interviews, and then next season there's loads more interviews. You know what things have been like this month. It's just been absolutely hectic. So it is what it is. But we've had some great interviews this season as well. not as many as like season 2. Season 3 was pretty good, but season 2 was absolutely ram-packed with interviews. We want another season like that in season 5, so you're going to have to wait and see what I've got planned for you. Let's just say a few hundred emails have gone out. So we could get some guests, we could not. We'll see what happens, but you know how I like to push things as far as they will go. So yeah, a massive thank you to everyone for joining in, watching, and having a bit of fun. Please do join me again, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, don't forget to press it. Massive thank you to our sponsors. We have Stacey, Katrina, and Jason. You're absolutely spectacular for supporting me in that way, and our sponsors as well. Did I say sponsors? I meant Patreon supporters. Did I say it? I don't know what I said, but those are my Patreon supporters. Massive thank you to our sponsors, Answer Us and Valhalla Martial Arts. Again, amazing. Answer Us. If you can't find what you want with me, he's probably got it. And if you want training to get fit, go to Valhalla Martial Arts. They are, like, in the last week or so, they've had fight after fight after fight and just win after win after win. It's been amazing to watch and amazing to be part of it, actually. So really cool. Well done to them. And thank you for supporting us. And that is about it. There's probably something else I'm going to say. There normally is. I'm awful at this bit. But I'm going to love you and leave you. So as always for me, I'll see you again soon, Ant fans. Good night.